Which four letters of the English alphabet represent the bases in the genetic code? ACGU. Adenine, A, cytosine, C, guanine, G, and uracil, U, are the four nucleobases found in RNA. In DNA, thymine, T, replaces uracil, U. What is the scientific discipline concerned with the origin, nature, chemistry, effects, and applications of drugs? Pharmacology. Pharmacology encompasses the study of how drugs interact with biological systems, including their mechanisms of action, therapeutic effects, and adverse effects. It is a crucial field in drug development and medicine. Anglophobia represents the fear or dislike of which country and its people? England. Anglophobia is defined as the fear or dislike of England and the English. This term is used to describe negative attitudes toward English culture, language, or people. What is the official language of Uruguay? Spanish. Spanish is the official language of Uruguay, reflecting the country's colonial history and cultural ties to Spain and other Latin American nations. It is spoken by the vast majority of the population. What was the name of the spacecraft in which Alan Shepard made his suborbital flight in 1961? Freedom 7. Freedom 7 was the spacecraft used for Project Mercury's first crewed suborbital flight in 1961, piloted by Alan Shepard. This mission marked a significant milestone in the United States' space program. During the reign of which English monarch was Lady Jane Grey, also known as the 9-Day Queen, executed? Mary I. Lady Jane Grey reigned briefly in 1553 before being deposed by Mary I. She was subsequently executed for treason, solidifying Mary I's claim to the throne and marking a turbulent period in English history. Which parts of the human body are affected by the medical condition arthralgia? Joints. Arthralgia refers to joint pain, a common symptom in various conditions, ranging from mild sprains to more serious diseases like arthritis. Proper diagnosis and management are essential to alleviate the discomfort and address the underlying cause. Who was the last British Member of Parliament to hold the position of Postmaster General? John Stonehouse. John Stonehouse was the last British MP to hold the post of Postmaster General before the role was abolished. The Postmaster General was a key figure in overseeing postal services and communications during that era. What type of weather condition is a meltemi? Wind. A meltemi is a strong, dry north wind that prevails in the Aegean Sea during the summer months. These winds can significantly impact maritime activities and local climate patterns in the region. In which European country was the 18th century artist Samuel Hieronymus Grimm born? Switzerland. Samuel Hieronymus Grimm was a Swiss artist known for his topographical drawings and watercolors, particularly of British landscapes during the 18th century. His detailed work provides valuable historical documentation of the period. What is the average gestation period, in days, of a lioness? 110. The gestation period of a lioness typically lasts around 110 days. This relatively short gestation allows for multiple litters within a lioness's reproductive lifespan. What is the subject of collection for a numismatist? Coins, currency. Numismatics is the study or collection of coins, paper currency, and medals. It provides insight into history, economics, and art through the physical examination of monetary objects. On which Mediterranean island was the goddess Aphrodite said to have been born? Cyprus. In Greek mythology, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, is said to have been born on the island of Cyprus. This association has made Cyprus a significant site in Aphrodite's worship. In how many categories is the Pulitzer Prize awarded? 21. The Pulitzer Prize is awarded annually in 21 categories, covering journalism, literature, drama, and music. It recognizes outstanding work across these fields, promoting excellence in American arts and letters. Blood and Fire is the motto of which organization? Salvation Army. Blood and Fire serves as the motto of the Salvation Army, a Christian charitable organization. The phrase represents the blood of Jesus Christ, symbolizing salvation, and the fire of the Holy Spirit, symbolizing purification and dedication to service. How many years constitute a decennial period? 20. A decennial period is a span of 20 years. The term is often used in historical or statistical contexts to denote events or trends occurring over 2 decades. Which waterway divides the two sections of Istanbul? The Bosphorus. The Bosphorus is a narrow, natural strait connecting the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, effectively separating the European and Asian sides of Istanbul, Turkey. It is a strategically and historically important waterway. Located in Paris, what was the original designation of the Place Charles de Gaulle? Place de la Toile. The Place Charles de Gaulle, famously known for being the location of the Arc de Triomphe, was originally named Place de la Toile, meaning Square of the Star, due to the 12 avenues radiating from it. The name was changed to honor Charles de Gaulle after his death. Which planet is situated between Saturn and Neptune? Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun and lies between Saturn and Neptune in our solar system. It is an ice giant characterized by its unique sideways rotation. Dinkery Beacon represents the highest elevation within which English national park? Exmoor. Dinkery Beacon, located in Exmoor National Park, is the park's highest point, offering panoramic views of the surrounding landscape. Exmoor is known for its moorland, woodland, and coastal scenery. Which year does the Roman numeral MCMLXVIII represent? 1968. Roman numerals are a system of numerical notation used by the ancient Romans. MCMLXVIII translates to 1000 plus, 1000 to 100, plus 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 1968. In which ocean does Sri Lanka lie? Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka, an island nation off the southeastern coast of India, is geographically positioned in the Indian Ocean. Its location has historically been significant for trade routes and strategic maritime interests. Which British Prime Minister held the title of First Earl of Stockton? Harold Macmillan. Harold Macmillan, a Conservative Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1957 to 1963, was later created the first Earl of Stockton. This peerage was a mark of recognition for his long and distinguished political career. Asiago is a food product of what type? Cheese. Asiago is an Italian cheese produced in the Asiago region of Veneto, Italy. There are 2 types, fresh, Asiago Preseto, and aged, Asiago d'Alivo, differing in texture and flavor. Who was the only US president to have resigned from office? Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon resigned from the presidency on August 9, 1974, due to the Watergate scandal. He remains the only US president to have taken this action. Carinthia is a state in which European country? Austria. Carinthia is one of the 9 states, Bundesländer, of Austria, located in the southern part of the country. It is known for its mountainous terrain and lakes. Which country has the internet domain, O? Australia. The internet domain, O, is the country code top-level domain, CCTLD, for Australia. It is used for websites and email addresses originating from Australia. In the International Morse code, a dash is equal to how many dots? 3. In International Morse code, the duration of a dash is defined as being equal to 3 times the duration of a dot. This timing is crucial for accurate decoding of the transmitted messages. In which year did the pre-decimal halfpenny coin cease to be legal tender in the United Kingdom? 1969. The pre-decimal halfpenny coin was withdrawn from circulation in the UK in 1969. This was part of the preparations for decimalization, which occurred in 1971 and involved changing to a decimal-based currency system. Hibernia was the Roman name for which European country? Ireland. Hibernia was the name used by the Romans to refer to Ireland. It reflects Roman knowledge and interaction with the island, although they never fully conquered it. Who shot former US President Ronald Reagan in March 1981? John Hinckley Jr. John Hinckley Jr. attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan on March 30, 1981, outside the Washington Hilton Hotel. The assassination attempt significantly impacted Reagan's presidency and led to stricter gun control measures and discussions about mental health. In Greek mythology, who fell in love with Europa, appeared in the form of a white bull, and carried her off to Crete? Zeus. In Greek mythology, Zeus, the king of the gods, transformed himself into a white bull to abduct Europa. He carried her across the sea to Crete, where she bore him several children, including Minos. In which European city is the International Olympic Committee based? Lausanne. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, is headquartered in Lausanne, Switzerland. This location provides a neutral ground for the organization, which oversees the modern Olympic Games. In 1918, which newspaper proprietor became the first UK Minister of Information? Lord Beaverbrook. Lord Beaverbrook, a prominent newspaper magnate, served as the inaugural UK Minister of Information in 1918. This appointment reflected the importance of propaganda and public communication during World War I. Xylography is the art of engraving upon which natural substance? Wood. Xylography is a relief printing technique involving carving an image into a block of wood. The carved block is then inked and used to print the image, a process historically significant in the development of printing. Otology is the study of which part of the body? Ear. Otology is the branch of medicine focused on the study, diagnosis, and treatment of ear-related disorders. It encompasses the anatomy, physiology, and pathology of the ear. What type of creature is a purvill? Bird. The purvill is a nocturnal bird found in western North America. It is notable for its ability to enter a state of torpor, similar to hibernation, during periods of cold weather or food scarcity. In which English county is the town of Tewkesbury located? Gloucestershire. Tewkesbury is a historic market town and civil parish in Gloucestershire, England, situated at the confluence of the rivers Severn and Avon. Its major landmark is Tewkesbury Abbey, a fine example of Norman architecture. Which United States-based retail company uses the motto, "Save money. Live better"? Walmart. Walmart, founded by Sam Walton in 1962, is a multinational retail corporation operating a chain of hypermarkets, discount department stores, and grocery stores. It is one of the world's largest companies by revenue. On which side of the road do motorists drive in Cyprus? Left. Cyprus, a former British colony, follows the British convention of driving on the left-hand side of the road. This contrasts with most of mainland Europe, where driving is on the right. On which river is the city of Cairo situated? River Nile. Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is located on the banks of the Nile River. The Nile has been crucial to the development of Egyptian civilization, providing water for irrigation and transportation for millennia. How many yards constitute a UK mile? 1760. A statute mile in the United Kingdom is standardized to 1,760 yards. This measurement is crucial for land surveying, navigation, and understanding historical distance calculations. Which US state is represented by the abbreviation AR? Arkansas. AR is the official postal abbreviation for the state of Arkansas in the United States. Abbreviations are used to streamline addresses and data entry across various official documents. By what name was the country of Sri Lanka formerly known? Ceylon. Sri Lanka was known as Ceylon until 1972 when it officially adopted its current name. The name change signifies a transition away from its colonial past and a move towards national identity. During the reign of which monarch was Arthur Balfour the British Prime Minister? Edward VII. Arthur Balfour served as the British Prime Minister from 1902 to 1905, during the reign of King Edward VII, 1901 to 1910. Understanding the timeline of British Prime Ministers and monarchs is crucial for historical context. What substance production is stimulated by the hormone prolactin following childbirth? Milk. Prolactin is a hormone released by the pituitary gland. Its primary role is to stimulate milk production, lactation, in mammary glands after childbirth. What type of animal is a fugu? Fish. Fugu, also known as pufferfish, is a delicacy in Japan but contains tetrodotoxin, a potent neurotoxin. Preparation requires skilled chefs to avoid poisoning. Theravada and Mahayana are the two principal branches of which religion? Buddhism. Theravada and Mahayana represent the two major schools of Buddhism, differing in their interpretations of the Buddha's teachings and paths to enlightenment. Studying the differences provides insight into Buddhist philosophy. In Greek mythology, which Phrygian king was granted the power to transform everything he touched into gold? King Midas. King Midas is a figure in Greek mythology renowned for his golden touch. The myth serves as a cautionary tale about greed and the unintended consequences of wishes. Dipsomania is characterized by an uncontrollable craving for what substance? Alcohol. Dipsomania is an outdated term for what is now commonly understood as alcohol use disorder or alcoholism, characterized by an intense and uncontrollable craving for alcohol. In which country is Lillehammer, the host city of the 1994 Winter Olympic Games, located? Norway. Lillehammer, Norway, hosted the 1994 Winter Olympics. These games are notable for being the first to be held 2 years after the previous games, a shift from the traditional 4-year cycle. In human anatomy, what is the first part of the intestine, located immediately beyond the stomach? Duodenum. The duodenum is the first section of the small intestine, connecting to the stomach at the pyloric sphincter. It plays a crucial role in chemical digestion, receiving chyme from the stomach and secretions from the pancreas and liver. Pseudocarp relates to which type of crop? Fruit. A pseudocarp, also known as a false fruit, is a fruit in which some of the fleshy part is derived not from the ovary but from some adjacent tissue exterior to the carpel. Examples include strawberries and pineapples. What is the US state capital of Maryland? Annapolis. Annapolis became the capital of Maryland in 1694 and is one of the oldest state capitals in the United States. It is also home to the United States Naval Academy. In UK pre-decimal coinage, how many farthings were in 1 penny? 4. Prior to decimalisation in 1971, the British currency system consisted of pounds, shillings, and pence. There were 4 farthings to a penny, 12 pence to a shilling, and 20 shillings to a pound. Who was the last Liberal Prime Minister of Great Britain? David Lloyd George. David Lloyd George served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1916 to 1922. He was the last Liberal to hold the office, marking a significant shift in British political landscape. Which animal is commonly referred to as the ship of the desert? Camel. Camels are known as the ship of the desert due to their ability to traverse long distances across arid landscapes with minimal water requirements. Their adaptation to desert environments has made them vital for transportation and trade. At which Welsh castle was Charles, Prince of Wales, invested with his title in July 1969? Caernarfon Castle. Caernarfon Castle, a medieval fortress in Wales, has a long history of royal associations. The investiture of Prince Charles at the castle in 1969 was a symbolic event reinforcing the connection between the British monarchy and Welsh heritage. In September 1968, which European country saw Marcelo Caetano become its prime minister? Portugal. Marcelo Caetano succeeded António de Oliveira Salazar as Prime Minister of Portugal in September 1968. His premiership was marked by attempts at limited reform within the authoritarian Estado Novo regime before it was overthrown in the Carnation Revolution of 1974. Which book by Harper Lee won the 1961 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction? To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird *, published in 1960, explores themes of racial injustice and childhood innocence in the American South. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1961 and remains a significant work of American literature. Who assassinated U.S. Senator Robert F. Kennedy in June 1968? Sirhan Sirhan. Robert F. Kennedy, a U.S. Senator and presidential candidate, was assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan in June 1968 shortly after winning the California primary. The assassination profoundly impacted the 1968 election and the course of American history. Which English politician delivered the controversial "Rivers of Blood" speech in April 1968? Enoch Powell. Enoch Powell, a British conservative politician, delivered his controversial "Rivers of Blood" speech in April 1968. The speech criticized proposed race relations legislation in the United Kingdom and sparked widespread debate about immigration and race. In 1964, Gwyn Owen Evans and Peter Anthony Allen were the last people to be hanged in which UK country? England. Gwyn Owen Evans and Peter Anthony Allen were the last individuals to be executed in England in 1964. The death penalty was subsequently abolished for murder in the United Kingdom in 1965. What was the name of the chimpanzee that was sent into space during the Project Mercury mission MR2 in January 1961? Ham. Hum, a chimpanzee, was launched into space on January 31, 1961, as part of Project Mercury's MR2 mission. This suborbital flight provided valuable data on the effects of space travel on living beings, paving the way for human spaceflight. What is the name of the temple located on the Athenian Acropolis? The Parthenon. The Parthenon is a temple on the Athenian Acropolis dedicated to the goddess Athena, patron deity of Athens. Its construction began in 447 BC and is a lasting symbol of ancient Greek civilization, architecture, and democracy. What is the national flower of England? Rose. The rose is the national flower of England, adopted as a symbol during the English Wars of the Roses in the 15th century. This conflict was fought between the House of Lancaster, represented by a red rose, and the House of York, represented by a white rose. In Greek mythology, who was awarded the armor of the deceased Achilles, after competing for it with Ajax? Odysseus. In Greek mythology, Odysseus, known for his cunning and intellect, and Ajax, a mighty warrior, both claimed the armor of Achilles after his death. A competition was held, and Odysseus was awarded the armor, symbolizing the value of strategy and wisdom over brute strength. The English town of Colchester lies on which river? River Colne. Colchester, located in Essex, England, is historically significant and lies on the River Colne. This river has been important for the town's development as a port and trading hub since Roman times. People in the Sun is the work of which American artist? Edward Hopper. Edward Hopper, 1882 to 1967, was a prominent American realist painter and printmaker. He is best known for his oil paintings, which often depict scenes of modern American life, characterized by isolation and solitude. In the British monarchy, who succeeded King George III to the throne? King George IV. King George IV, 1762 to 1830, reigned from 1820 until his death. He served as Prince Regent during his father's, George III's, mental illness from 1811 to 1820. Which three South American countries lie on the equator? Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil. The equator passes through Ecuador, Colombia, and Brazil in South America. These countries experience unique climate patterns and biodiversity due to their location along the Earth's central line. François Fillon was appointed Prime Minister of which country in May 2007? France. François Fillon served as the Prime Minister of France from May 2007 to May 2012, under President Nicolas Sarkozy. He was a member of the centre-right UMP party. What is the capital of Germany? Berlin. Berlin has been the capital of Germany at various points in its history, including the Kingdom of Prussia and the German Empire. It is the largest city in Germany and a major center of culture, politics, media, and science. Who became the first female Director General of the British Security Service MI5 in 1992? Stella Rymington. Stella Rymington was the first woman to hold the position of Director General of MI5, the UK's domestic counter-intelligence and security agency. Her appointment marked a significant moment in the history of the organization. What is the first name of the Hungarian inventor of the Rubik's Cube? Erno. Erno Rubik was a Hungarian architect and professor who invented the Rubik's Cube in 1974. The Rubik's Cube is a globally popular mechanical puzzle. The medical condition pertussis, commonly affecting children, is more widely known by what name? Whooping cough. Pertussis, or whooping cough, is a highly contagious respiratory infection caused by the bacterium Bordetella pertussis. It is characterized by severe coughing fits followed by a whooping sound during inhalation. What is the art of preparing, stuffing, and mounting the skins of animals for display called? Taxidermy. Taxidermy is the practice of preparing and preserving animal skins for mounting on a mannequin or form. The purpose is often for display in museums or as trophies. Upon which North American Great Lake is the city of Buffalo situated? Lake Erie. Lake Erie, the fourth largest of the Great Lakes, forms part of the international border between Canada and the United States. Buffalo, New York, is a major port city located on its eastern shore. Of what was the Roman goddess Ceres the protector? Crops. Ceres, the Roman goddess of agriculture, grain crops, fertility, and motherly relationships, corresponds to the Greek goddess Demeter. Her worship was essential to the agricultural success and sustenance of Roman society. In which century was the Royal Greenwich Observatory opened in London? 17th century. The Royal Greenwich Observatory was established in 1675 by King Charles II. Its primary purpose was to aid navigation by determining longitude at sea, marking a significant advancement in astronomy and maritime exploration. Around which part of the body would a high tiki normally be worn? Neck. A high tiki is a traditional pendant worn by the Maori people of New Zealand. These pendants are often carved from pounamu, greenstone, and hold significant cultural and spiritual importance. In Greek mythology, what is the drink of the gods? Nectar. In Greek mythology, nectar is the drink of the gods, often associated with immortality and divine power. It complements ambrosia, which serves as their food. In May 1936, the first flight by which Irish airline took place between Dublin and Bristol? Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus, the flag carrier airline of Ireland, commenced its operations in 1936 with its inaugural flight from Dublin to Bristol. This marked the beginning of commercial air travel in Ireland. After which French monarch was Louisville, Kentucky, USA, named? King Louis XVI. Louisville, Kentucky, was named in honor of King Louis XVI of France in 1780, recognizing French assistance during the American Revolutionary War. He was the King of France from 1774 until his deposition in 1792. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao constitute which country? The Philippines. The three principal island groups of the Philippines, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, collectively form the archipelago nation. These islands represent the major geographical and cultural divisions of the country. To which island is the lemur endemic? Madagascar. Lemurs are a group of primates exclusively found in Madagascar, an island country off the coast of East Africa. Their unique evolutionary history and diversity are largely attributed to Madagascar's isolation. Which musical instrument was jazz musician Benny Goodman renowned for playing? Clarinet. Benny Goodman, known as the King of Swing, was a highly influential jazz clarinetist and bandleader. His virtuosity and popular performances helped to popularize swing music and the clarinet as a solo instrument. In which U.S. city is Columbia University located? New York. Columbia University, officially Columbia University in the city of New York, is a private Ivy League research university in Upper Manhattan, New York City. It is one of the oldest institutions of higher education in the United States. Henrietta Maria was the French consort of which British monarch? King Charles I. Henrietta Maria was the Queen Consort of England, Scotland, and Ireland as the wife of Charles I. Her marriage was politically significant and contributed to tensions leading to the English Civil War. English soothsayer and prophetess Ursula Southill was better known as Mother, who. Shipton. Ursula Southill, better known as Mother Shipton, was an English soothsayer and prophetess. She is one of the most famous English fortune tellers of all time. In which modern-day European country was chemist and physicist Marie Curie born? Poland. Marie Curie, a pioneering physicist and chemist, was born in Poland in 1867. Her groundbreaking research on radioactivity earned her Nobel Prizes in Physics, 1903, and Chemistry, 1911. Which post in the United Kingdom did Rowan Williams assume in February 2003? Archbishop of Canterbury. Rowan Williams served as the Archbishop of Canterbury from 2003 to 2012, a significant role as the spiritual leader of the Anglican Communion. The Archbishop of Canterbury is the senior bishop and a principal leader of the Church of England. In which Asian city is the Fountain of Wealth located? Singapore. The Fountain of Wealth, recognized as one of the largest fountains in the world, is situated in Singapore's Suntec City. It symbolizes wealth and prosperity and is a popular tourist attraction. On which part of the body would a piece of armor called a brassard be worn? Arm. A brassard is a piece of armor designed to protect the arm. It was commonly used in medieval and Renaissance warfare, providing crucial defense for the vulnerable limb. Who is generally credited with building the first reflecting telescope? Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton is credited with constructing the first reflecting telescope in 1668. This design uses mirrors instead of lenses to focus light, which reduces chromatic aberration, a common problem in refracting telescopes. The Prince Edward Islands in the Indian Ocean are part of which country? South Africa. The Prince Edward Islands, comprising Marion Island and Prince Edward Island, are located in the subantarctic Indian Ocean and are a territory of South Africa. These islands hold significance for scientific research, particularly in the fields of biology and climate studies. What is the square root of 361? 19. The square root of a number, x, is a value, y, such that y equals x. In this case, 19 multiplied by itself equals 361. In which country were the first Olympic Games held in the Southern Hemisphere? Australia. The first Olympic Games held in the Southern Hemisphere took place in Melbourne, Australia, in 1956. This marked a significant event in the global expansion of the Olympic Games. How many months of the year consist of precisely 30 days? 4. April, June, September, and November are the only months in the Gregorian calendar that have exactly 30 days. This is a common knowledge question testing calendar awareness. Ombrophobia denotes an irrational fear of which meteorological phenomenon? Rain. Ombrophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an extreme and irrational fear of rain. Understanding phobias and their impact on mental health can be relevant in psychological contexts. The Brix scale, utilized predominantly in the United States, is employed to quantify the concentration of which substance in grapes and wine? Sugar. The Brix scale is a measure of the sugar content of an aqueous solution. It is commonly used in the wine and juice industries to determine the potential alcohol content if all the sugar is fermented. The Painted Desert is geographically located in which state of the United States? Arizona. The Painted Desert is a region in the United States spanning over 160 miles and is located in northern Arizona. It is known for its colorful, eroded landscape. In Islamic theology, who is recognized as the final prophet? Muhammad. In Islam, Muhammad is considered the last prophet sent by God, Allah. This is a central tenet of the Islamic faith. What are the two inferior planets in our solar system? Mercury and Venus. Inferior planets, Mercury and Venus, orbit the Sun within Earth's orbit. Their positions and transits are significant in astronomical observations. The full moon seen closest to the time of the autumn equinox is commonly known as what? Harvest moon. The harvest moon is the full moon nearest to the autumnal equinox. It derives its name from the agricultural practice of harvesting crops late into the evening using the moon's light. A grunion is what type of creature? Fish. Grunion are small, silver-colored fish known for their unique spawning behavior on beaches during high tides. This unusual reproductive strategy is of interest in marine biology. The crab represents which sign of the zodiac? Cancer. Cancer is the fourth astrological sign in the zodiac, originating from the constellation of Cancer. In astrology, Cancer is associated with individuals born between June 21 and July 22. The sclera is the white outer layer of which part of the human body? Eyeball. The sclera is the dense, fibrous, protective outer layer of the eye. It maintains the shape of the eye and provides attachment points for the extraocular muscles. In 1952, Ann Davison achieved the distinction of being the first woman to single-handedly sail across which body of water? Atlantic Ocean. Ann Davison's solo sail across the Atlantic in 1952 was a remarkable feat of navigation and endurance. It highlighted the growing role of women in maritime endeavors. What is the common culinary name for sodium bicarbonate? Baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate, commonly known as baking soda, is a chemical compound with the formula sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is used in baking as a leavening agent, causing dough to rise. Millbank Prison, which ceased operations in 1890, was situated near which English river? River Thames. Millbank Prison, operational in London from 1816 to 1890, was located on the banks of the River Thames. It played a significant role in the British penal system during the 19th century. The Java Trench, also known as the Sunda Trench, represents the deepest point within which ocean? Indian Ocean. The Java Trench, or Sunda Trench, is located in the eastern Indian Ocean. It is formed by the subduction of the Indo-Australian plate beneath the Eurasian plate. What structure is traditionally attributed to being commissioned by Nebuchadnezzar II to alleviate his wife's homesickness? The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Their existence is debated, but if real, they were attributed to Nebuchadnezzar II and intended to resemble a verdant, mountainous landscape to comfort his Median wife. What type of root system is characteristic of a dandelion plant? Taproot. Dandelions possess a taproot system, characterized by a single, dominant root that grows vertically downward. This allows the plant to access water and nutrients deep within the soil. What was the name of England's first offshore pirate radio station? Radio Caroline. Radio Caroline was the first offshore pirate radio station, broadcasting from international waters to circumvent British broadcasting regulations. It played a significant role in the development of popular music culture in the UK in the 1960s. What color is the dragon on the national flag of Wales? Red. The red dragon, Y Didiareg Gok, is a prominent symbol of Wales, appearing on the national flag. Its origins are steeped in Welsh mythology and history, representing the nation's unique identity. The coastline of Kenya lies on which ocean? Indian Ocean. Kenya's coastline borders the Indian Ocean, a strategically and economically important body of water. The Indian Ocean influences Kenya's climate, trade, and maritime resources. Which Apollo spacecraft landed on the Moon in February 1971? Apollo 14. Apollo 14, launched in January 1971 and landing on the Moon in February, was the eighth crewed mission in the Apollo program. It was commanded by Alan Shepard, who became the fifth person to walk on the Moon. The Northwest Passage connects which two oceans? Pacific and Atlantic. The Northwest Passage is a sea route through the Arctic Ocean, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Historically impassable due to ice, it has gained increased attention due to climate change and the potential for reduced shipping times. Which letter of the alphabet is represented by one dot in the International Morse code? E. In International Morse code, the letter E is represented by a single dot. Morse code is a method of transmitting textual information as a series of on-off tones, lights, or clicks. How many paintings constitute William Hogarth's A Rake's Progress? 8. A Rake's Progress is a series of 8 paintings by William Hogarth, created between 1732 and 1734. The series depicts the downfall of Tom Rakewell, a young man who inherits a fortune and squanders it on a life of luxury and vice, ultimately ending up in Bedlam. Alastair Campbell is best known as the Director of Communications and Strategy for which British Prime Minister? Tony Blair. Alastair Campbell served as the Director of Communications and Strategy for Tony Blair during his time as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He played a key role in shaping the government's media strategy and communication policies. In which European country is Mora-Siljan Airport located? Sweden. Mora-Siljan Airport is a regional airport situated in the Dalarna region of Sweden. It serves the towns of Mora and Siljan, facilitating both domestic and international flights. Which former President of the United States is commonly known as LBJ? Lyndon Baines Johnson. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, served from 1963 to 1969. He is best known for his Great Society legislation aimed at poverty reduction and civil rights. The fragrant essential oil known as attar is traditionally extracted from the petals of which flower? Rose. Attar is a natural perfume oil derived from botanical sources, most commonly rose petals. The process typically involves hydrodistillation, where the fragrance is captured in sandalwood oil. In which European city is the Jet d'eau fountain located? Geneva. The Jet d'eau, a large fountain in Lake Geneva, is one of Geneva's most famous landmarks. It was originally built in 1886 and moved to its present location in 1891, becoming a symbol of the city. In London, during which month does the Lord Mayor's Show traditionally take place, specifically on the second Saturday? November. The Lord Mayor's Show is a centuries-old annual procession in the City of London, celebrating the inauguration of the new Lord Mayor. It takes place on the second Saturday of November and includes a parade and festivities. Which month in the Gregorian calendar was originally the first month of the Roman calendar? March. March was the first month in the ancient Roman calendar, signifying the start of the agricultural and military campaign season. The calendar was later reformed, shifting the start of the year to January. All Hallows Eve, more commonly known as Halloween, is celebrated on the last day of which month? October. All Hallows Eve, or Halloween, is celebrated on October 31st Street. It is a holiday with origins in Celtic traditions and is associated with costumes, trick-or-treating, and festive gatherings. During which month in 1912 did the RMS Titanic strike an iceberg and sink? April. The RMS Titanic, a British passenger liner, sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15, 1912, after striking an iceberg during her maiden voyage. This maritime disaster led to significant changes in safety regulations. During which month of 1533 was Queen Elizabeth I of England born? September. Queen Elizabeth I, a prominent figure in English history, was born in September 1533. Her reign, often referred to as the Elizabethan era, was characterized by exploration, artistic flourishing, and political stability. Which chemical element is represented by the symbol Ba? Barium. Barium, Ba, an alkaline earth metal, is known for its high reactivity with air and water. It is used in various industrial applications, including X-ray diagnostics and pyrotechnics. In which month is Heritage Day celebrated in South Africa? September 24th. Heritage Day, celebrated on September 24th in South Africa, acknowledges the diverse cultures and traditions of all South Africans. It promotes unity and social cohesion by encouraging citizens to celebrate their heritage. Where is the largest and most renowned work of the U.S. sculptor Gutzon Borglum located? Mount Rushmore, South Dakota. Mount Rushmore, located in South Dakota, is a colossal sculpture carved into the granite face of the mountain. It features the 60-foot faces of Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Umberto II, also known as the King of May, reigned as the last king of which European nation from May 9 to June 12, 1946? Italy. Umberto II's brief reign marked the end of the Italian monarchy following World War II. A referendum resulted in the establishment of the Italian Republic shortly after his accession to the throne. The European Economic Community (EEC) was established by the 1957 Treaty of which city? Rome. The Treaty of Rome, signed in 1957, established the European Economic Community (EEC), laying the foundation for the European Union. This treaty fostered economic integration among member states. Joseph Cyril Bamford founded which British company in 1945? JCB. Joseph Cyril Bamford founded JCB, J.C. Bamford Excavators Limited, in 1945. JCB is a prominent manufacturer of construction, agricultural, and demolition equipment. Which country hosted the 2000 Summer Olympic Games? Australia. The 2000 Summer Olympics were held in Sydney, Australia, marking a significant international sporting event at the turn of the millennium. Hosting the Olympics provides a considerable boost to the host country's economy and global image. Which English poet wrote Arms and the Boy? Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen was a prominent English poet of World War I, known for his poignant and realistic depictions of war. His poem, Arms and the Boy, explores themes of innocence and the corrupting influence of war. On which part of the human body does a podiatrist specialize? Feet. Podiatry is a branch of medicine devoted to the study and medical treatment of disorders of the foot, ankle, and lower extremity. Podiatrists diagnose and treat conditions such as bunions, ingrown toenails, and sports injuries affecting the foot. Who became the British Prime Minister in May 1937? Neville Chamberlain. Neville Chamberlain became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in May 1937, succeeding Stanley Baldwin. He is primarily known for his policy of appeasement towards Nazi Germany, which ultimately failed to prevent World War II. Which river forms the boundary between Burma and Thailand? Salween River. The Salween River, also known as the Thunlum River, forms part of the boundary between Burma, Myanmar, and Thailand. It is a major river in Southeast Asia, flowing through China, Burma, and Thailand before emptying into the Andaman Sea. Xenophobia is the irrational fear of which weather condition? Snow. Xenophobia is the excessive and irrational fear of snow. Phobias are anxiety disorders characterized by intense and persistent fear of specific objects or situations. Caroline of Ansbach was the wife of which British monarch? King George II. Caroline of Ansbach was Queen Consort of Great Britain and Ireland as the wife of George II. She exercised considerable influence during his reign. Lake Malaring is located in which European country? Sweden. Lake Malaring is Sweden's third largest lake, extending west of Stockholm. It has played a significant role in Swedish history and trade. Which South American country is bordered on the north by Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana? Brazil. Brazil, the largest country in South America, shares borders with nearly every other South American nation. Its extensive Amazon rainforest contributes significantly to global biodiversity. The Ambassador Bridge, which connects the US with Canada, spans which river? Detroit River. The Ambassador Bridge connects Detroit, Michigan, in the United States, with Windsor, Ontario, in Canada. Spanning the Detroit River, it is a major international crossing point for trade and transportation. In which European city was Foucault's pendulum, which demonstrated the Earth's rotation, first staged in 1851? Paris. Foucault's pendulum, first publicly displayed in Paris in 1851, provided visual evidence of the Earth's rotation, solidifying the understanding of Earth's movement and influencing scientific thought. It serves as a powerful demonstration of physics. What is the title of the individual responsible for managing the financial affairs of a college or university? Bursar. A bursar is a key administrative officer in educational institutions. They manage budgets, investments, and financial resources, playing a crucial role in the institution's stability. Which anatomical feature do butterflies utilize to perceive taste? Feet. Butterflies possess chemoreceptors on their feet, allowing them to taste substances they land on. This adaptation enables them to identify suitable food sources, such as nectar-rich flowers. The Sheffield Shield is a domestic first-class cricket competition contested by teams representing which nation? Australia. The Sheffield Shield is Australia's premier domestic cricket competition, featuring teams from various Australian states. It serves as a pathway for players to showcase their skills and potentially represent the national team. What is the modern-day equivalent of the archaic word, prithee? Please. The word, prithee, is an archaic English term that is no longer in common usage. It means, please, or, I pray thee, and was commonly used in older texts and literature to make polite requests. Lincoln's Inn, Inner Temple, Middle Temple, and Gray's Inn are collectively known as what? The Inns of Court. The Inns of Court are professional associations for barristers in England and Wales, with a history spanning centuries. They play a vital role in legal education and regulation. A Sharif, a descendant of Muhammad through his daughter Fatima, is entitled to wear which color turban or veil? Green. In some Islamic traditions, descendants of the Prophet Muhammad, known as Sharifs, are associated with the color green, symbolizing their lineage and spiritual significance. In which French city is the tomb of William the Conqueror located? Caen. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy and King of England, was buried in Caen, France, at the Abbaye aux Sommes, Saint-Étienne. His tomb reflects his historical importance in both English and French history. In which religion is a simcha a private party or celebration? Judaism. A simcha is a joyous occasion or celebration in Judaism, often marking significant life cycle events such as births, bat mitzvahs, weddings, or religious holidays. Which 18th century English historian wrote The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire? Edward Gibbon. Edward Gibbon's The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, published between 1776 and 1789, is a seminal work analyzing the factors contributing to the Roman Empire's decline over centuries. In humans, which part of the body is affected by atelectasis? Lungs. Atelectasis is a condition in which all or part of a lung collapses. It can be caused by a blocked airway, obstructive, or by pressure from outside the lung, non-obstructive. What is the official language of Chile? Spanish. Spanish is the official language of Chile, reflecting the country's colonial history and cultural heritage. While indigenous languages are also spoken, Spanish is dominant in government, education, and commerce. In which U.S. state is Death Valley located? California. Death Valley, a desert valley in eastern California, is known for its extreme heat and geological features. It is one of the hottest, driest, and lowest national parks in the United States. What is the capital city of Sicily? Palermo. Palermo is the capital of the autonomous region of Sicily, Italy. It is a major port city with a rich history and diverse cultural influences due to its strategic location in the Mediterranean. From which plant is sago extracted? Palm. Sago is a starch extracted from the pith of various tropical palm stems, primarily Metroxylon sago. It serves as a staple food in some parts of the world, particularly in Southeast Asia and Oceania. Which color of light indicates the starboard side of a ship? Green. The starboard side of a vessel is indicated by a green light. This is a key navigational aid, especially at night, for avoiding collisions at sea according to international maritime regulations. What is the name of the galaxy that contains Earth? Milky Way. The Milky Way is the barred spiral galaxy that contains our solar system. It is estimated to contain hundreds of billions of stars and is part of the local group of galaxies. In the human body, which gland produces the hormone cortisol, or hydrocortisone? Adrenal gland. The adrenal glands, located above the kidneys, produce cortisol, a steroid hormone. Cortisol plays a crucial role in regulating metabolism, immune response, and stress response. Which United States president is depicted on the $5 bill? Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. President, 1861 to 1865, is featured on the $5 bill. His leadership during the Civil War and his commitment to preserving the Union cemented his place in American history, making him a fitting figure for the currency. Chinese restaurant syndrome, a collection of symptoms experienced by some individuals after consuming Chinese cuisine, is attributed to which food additive? Monosodium glutamate, MSG. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, is a flavor enhancer commonly used in Chinese cuisine, and its potential link to Chinese restaurant syndrome has been a subject of debate. While some individuals report adverse reactions, scientific consensus generally does not support a strong connection between MSG consumption and the described symptoms. What is the national flower of Australia? Golden wattle. The golden wattle, Acacia pycnantha, was officially proclaimed Australia's national flower in 1988. It is a vibrant symbol of the nation's identity, resilience, and unity, and its golden hues represent the country's national colors. In which building is London's Whispering Gallery located? St. Paul's Cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral, designed by Sir Christopher Wren, is an Anglican cathedral in London. Its Whispering Gallery is famous for its acoustic properties, allowing whispers to be heard clearly on the opposite side of the dome. In mathematics, by what name is the numerical value 3.14159 more commonly known? Pi. Pi is a mathematical constant representing the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. It is approximately equal to 3.14159 and is a transcendental number. Which is the only planet in our solar system not named after a deity? Earth. All planets in our solar system, with the exception of Earth, are named after Roman or Greek gods and goddesses. Earth derives its name from Old English and Germanic words. Which mineral possesses the lowest hardness value on the Mohs hardness scale? Talc. Talc is the softest mineral on the Mohs hardness scale, assigned a value of 1. The Mohs scale is a qualitative ordinal scale characterizing scratch resistance of various minerals through the ability of harder material to scratch softer material. What is the name of the largest ocean on Earth? Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of Earth's oceanic divisions. It spans from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south, bounded by Asia and Australia on the west, and the Americas on the east. What is the name of the world's longest river? River Nile. The Nile River, located in Africa, is considered the longest river in the world, stretching approximately 6,650 kilometers. It has historically been crucial for agriculture and civilization in the region. What is the color of a polar bear's skin? Black. Polar bears have black skin underneath their thick fur. The black skin helps them absorb sunlight to stay warm in cold Arctic conditions. From the bark of which tree was the original source material for the production of aspirin derived? Willow. Salicylic acid, the precursor to aspirin, was originally derived from the bark of the willow tree. This compound has pain-relieving and anti-inflammatory properties. Which desert in Chile is recognized as the driest desert in the world? Atacama Desert. The Atacama Desert, located in Chile, is considered the driest non-polar desert in the world. It experiences extremely low levels of precipitation due to its location between the Andes Mountains and the Chilean Coast Range. What is the term for the formations of calcium carbonate that hang downwards from the roofs of caves? Stalactites. Stalactites are speleothems that hang from the ceiling of caves, formed by the deposition of calcium carbonate and other minerals precipitated from mineralized water solutions that have seeped through the cave ceiling. What is the name of the green pigment found in nearly all plants? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the primary pigment responsible for the absorption of light energy in plants, which is then used in photosynthesis to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. Its presence is fundamental to plant life and the Earth's ecosystem. How many points or arms do snowflakes typically possess? 6. Snowflakes almost universally exhibit six-fold symmetry due to the hexagonal crystal structure of ice. This hexagonal shape results from the way water molecules bond when freezing. Pneumology is the scientific study of what meteorological phenomenon? Clouds. Pneumology is a branch of meteorology focused on the formation, structure, classification, and behavior of clouds. Understanding cloud formations is crucial for weather forecasting and climate modeling. Which English scientist is credited with first describing the colors of the rainbow as comprising 7 distinct hues? Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton, through his prism experiments, identified 7 colors in the visible spectrum of light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. This categorization has become a standard model in the understanding of light and optics. Rafflesia arnoldi, recognized as the world's largest individual flower, is more commonly known by what name? Corpse flower. Rafflesia arnoldi is a parasitic plant known for producing the largest individual flower on Earth, which can reach over 1 meter in diameter. It is named corpse flower due to its strong odor resembling decaying flesh, which attracts pollinators. By what name is the largest individual tree in the world, a giant redwood, commonly known? General Sherman. The General Sherman tree, located in Sequoia National Park, California, is the world's largest tree by volume. It stands as a testament to the longevity and immense scale that certain tree species can achieve. Cattleya labiata is a species belonging to which exotic flowering plant genus? Orchid. Cattleya labiata is a well-known species of orchid, highly prized for its large, showy flowers and vibrant colors. Orchids as a whole represent one of the largest and most diverse families of flowering plants. Agroglyphs are more popularly referred to by what term? Crop circles. Crop circles are patterns created in fields of crops, typically through the flattening of the plants. Their origins are often debated, with explanations ranging from natural phenomena to human creation to pseudoscientific theories. Who served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 1994? John Major. John Major served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1990 to 1997, leading the Conservative Party. His tenure included significant events such as the Maastricht Treaty negotiations and economic challenges. Which painting by Edvard Munch was stolen from a gallery in Oslo in February 1994? The Scream. Edvard Munch's The Scream, a seminal work of expressionism, was stolen in 1994, highlighting the vulnerability of even the most iconic artworks. The theft brought international attention to art security measures. Who assumed the role of host of the BBC's Question Time in January 1994? David Dimbleby. David Dimbleby took over as host of BBC's Question Time in 1994, a prominent current affairs program. His tenure marked a period of significant political and social discourse. In 1994, which consortium was granted the license to operate the UK's first national lottery? Camelot Group. The Camelot Group received the license to run the UK's inaugural national lottery in 1994. This marked the beginning of state-sanctioned and regulated lottery operations in the UK. Who was inaugurated as South Africa's first black president in May 1994? Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela's inauguration as South Africa's first black president in 1994 signified the end of apartheid. It marked a pivotal moment in the nation's history and a transition towards racial equality and reconciliation. In which month of 1994 was the Channel Tunnel officially opened between England and France? May. The Channel Tunnel, also known as the Tunnel, is a 50.5 kilometers undersea rail tunnel linking Folkestone, Kent, in England, with Coquelles, past the Calais, near Calais in northern France. Its official opening in May 1994 marked a significant milestone in European infrastructure. Andrew Motion, Cecil Day Lewis, and John Betjeman all held which prestigious post? Poet Laureate. The Poet Laureate is an honorary position appointed by the monarch of the United Kingdom. The role dates back to the 17th century, and the Poet Laureate is expected to write poems for significant national occasions. How many United States presidents have resigned from office? 1. Richard Nixon is the only U.S. president to have resigned from office, doing so in 1974 amidst the Watergate scandal. His resignation avoided impeachment proceedings by Congress. What currency was used in Austria prior to the adoption of the euro? Austrian shilling. The Austrian shilling was the currency of Austria from 1925 to 1938 and again from 1945 to 2002. Austria adopted the euro on January 1, 1999, in non-physical form, and began circulating euro coins and banknotes on January 1, 2002. In Greek mythology, who became the first queen of Crete? Europa. In Greek mythology, Europa was a Phoenician princess abducted by Zeus in the form of a white bull and taken to Crete. She became the first queen of Crete and bore Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Sarpedon. The European country of Switzerland is composed of how many cantons? 26. Switzerland is a confederation of 26 cantons, each with its own constitution, legislature, government, and courts. These cantons vary in size, population, and degree of autonomy, but all participate in the federal system. In humans, what is the subject of the scientific study of somnology? Sleep. Somnology is the scientific study of sleep, encompassing its physiological, psychological, and behavioral aspects. It is a multidisciplinary field that contributes to understanding sleep disorders and improving sleep health. In International Morse code, which letter is represented by two dashes? M. International Morse code is a character encoding system transmitting alphabetic and numerical information through standardized sequences of short and long signals called dots and dashes. The letter M is represented by two dashes. In which city is the Nasdaq Stock Exchange located? New York. The Nasdaq, National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotations, is an American stock exchange located in New York City. It is the second largest stock exchange in the world by market capitalization. Annapurna is a section of which mountain range? Himalayas. Annapurna is a massif in the Himalayas in north-central Nepal. It is one of the world's highest mountain ranges and includes one peak over 8,000 meters, Annapurna I. Which month of the year is alphabetically first? April. April is the fourth month of the year and alphabetically precedes all other months. How many stars are featured on the national flag of Australia? 6. The Australian national flag features 6 stars. 5 of these stars represent the Southern Cross constellation, and 1 represents the Commonwealth star. The Eurasian basin forms a part of which ocean? Arctic Ocean. The Eurasian basin is one of the two major basins of the Arctic Ocean, the other being the Amarasian basin. It is further subdivided into the Nansen basin and the Amundsen basin. To which animal does the term caprine relate? Goat. The adjective caprine is derived from the Latin word capra, meaning goat. It is commonly used in biological and agricultural contexts to describe characteristics associated with goats. Pierogi, dumplings made of unleavened bread, originated in which European country? Poland. Pierogi are filled dumplings made by wrapping pockets of unleavened dough around a savory or sweet filling and cooking them in boiling water. While popular in many Central and Eastern European countries, they are widely believed to have originated in Poland. Which United States president famously stated, "I am not a crook"? Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, made the declaration, "I am not a crook," during a televised question and answer session with newspaper editors in 1973 amidst the Watergate scandal. This statement became iconic and is strongly associated with his presidency and subsequent resignation. In which century did the English Civil War occur? 17th century. The English Civil War was a series of armed conflicts and political machinations between parliamentarians, Roundheads, and Royalists, Cavaliers, from 1642 to 1651. This conflict significantly shaped the future government of England and occurred during the 17th century. Dorchester Heights is a historic district located in which United States city? Boston. Dorchester Heights, located in Boston, Massachusetts, is significant for its role in the American Revolutionary War. It was the site where General George Washington positioned cannons, forcing the British to evacuate the city in 1776. In nature, buttress, tap, and strangler are all types of wood. Root. Buttress roots, tap roots, and strangler roots are specialized types of roots adapted to different environmental conditions. Buttress roots provide stability in shallow soils, tap roots access deep water sources, and strangler roots can eventually encircle and kill a host tree. Which English fruit merchant and amateur sailor returned to Portsmouth, England, on July 4, 1968, after circumnavigating the world in 354 days? Alec Rose. Sir Alec Rose was a British yachtsman who completed a solo circumnavigation of the globe in 1968. He sailed from Portsmouth, England, and his voyage lasted 354 days, making him a national hero. Which part of the human body is lubricated by lacrimal fluid? Eyes. Lacrimal fluid, commonly known as tears, is crucial for maintaining the health and function of the eyes by providing lubrication, removing debris, and preventing infection. It is secreted by the lacrimal glands and accessory lacrimal glands located around the eye. During which month of the year do clocks in the United Kingdom move forward by 1 hour? March. Daylight Saving Time, DST, in the UK begins in March, specifically on the last Sunday of the month. This is when clocks are advanced by 1 hour to maximize daylight hours during the summer months. In which European country is the English poet John Keats buried? Italy. John Keats, a prominent figure in the Romantic movement, died in Rome, Italy, in 1821 at the age of 25. He is buried in the Protestant cemetery, also known as the Cimitero Cattolico, in Rome. Of which natural substance is xylology the study? Wood. Xylology is a branch of botany specifically dedicated to the study of wood, its structure, properties, and uses. It plays an important role in forestry, archaeology, and material science. In human anatomy, stress, green stick, and compound are all types of what condition? Bone fracture. These terms refer to different types of bone fractures. A stress fracture is a small crack due to repetitive stress, a green stick fracture is an incomplete break common in children, and a compound fracture involves the bone breaking through the skin. What is the collective name for the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution? Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution are collectively known as the Bill of Rights. These amendments guarantee essential rights and liberties to individuals, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the right to bear arms. How many cardinal virtues are there? 4. The 4 cardinal virtues, derived from classical philosophy and later adopted by Christian theology, are prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude. These virtues are considered fundamental to ethical living and moral character. Which breed of bird was historically used in mines to detect dangerous gases? Canary. Canaries were used in coal mines to detect the presence of dangerous gases such as carbon monoxide. Due to their sensitivity, the birds would show signs of distress, alerting miners to evacuate before the gas reached lethal levels. In Greek mythology, which of the 3 Gorgons was the only mortal? Medusa. In Greek mythology, Medusa was one of the 3 Gorgon sisters, the only one being mortal. She is famous for her hair of snakes and the ability to turn those who looked at her to stone. In which Los Angeles hotel was Robert F. Kennedy shot in June 1968? Ambassador Hotel. Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles on June 5, 1968, a pivotal event in American political history occurring during his presidential campaign. A pod is a group of which mammal? Whales. A pod refers to a group of whales, representing a social unit within whale populations. Understanding social structures is crucial in marine biology and conservation efforts. In astronomy, how many stars constitute the asterism known as the Plough? 7. The Plough, also known as the Big Dipper in North America, is a prominent asterism formed by 7 bright stars within the constellation Ursa Major. Its distinctive shape has made it a recognizable navigational tool and cultural icon for centuries. In which European city is the renowned Arch of Hadrian situated? Athens. The Arch of Hadrian is a monumental gateway that straddles the ancient and modern sections of Athens, Greece. It was constructed in 131 AD by the Roman Emperor Hadrian, and served as a symbolic division between the old city of Theseus and the new Hadrianopolis. The year 1986 marked the 900th anniversary of which notable English record? The Domesday Book. The Domesday Book is a comprehensive record of the land and resources of England, commissioned by William the Conqueror in 1086. It provides invaluable insight into the social and economic conditions of medieval England. Who served as the leader of the British Conservative Party from June 1997 to September 2001? William Hague. William Hague led the Conservative Party during a challenging period following their landslide defeat in the 1997 general election. His leadership focused on modernizing the party's image and policies. In which European country is the city of Dubrovnik located? Croatia. Dubrovnik is a city on the Adriatic Sea in the region of Dalmatia, Croatia. It is one of the most prominent tourist destinations in the Mediterranean Sea, a seaport and the center of Dubrovnik-Neretva County. In which country is Sancerre wine produced? France. Sancerre is a French wine appellation located in the Loire Valley, known for its Sauvignon Blanc wines. The region's chalky soil contributes to the wine's distinctive minerality and crisp acidity. What fruit does the Spanish word, manzana, refer to? Apple. The Spanish word, manzana, directly translates to apple in English. Knowledge of basic vocabulary in foreign languages is useful in various fields including international relations and trade. By what common name is the medical condition tinea pedis better known? Athlete's foot. Tinea pedis, commonly known as athlete's foot, is a fungal infection that affects the skin on the feet. It's important to understand common medical terminology for health and hygiene awareness. In which U.S. state are the Bonneville Salt Flats located? Utah. The Bonneville Salt Flats are 30,000-acre expanse of hard, white salt crust on the western edge of the Great Salt Lake Basin in northern Utah. They are a remnant of Lake Bonneville, a prehistoric pluvial lake that covered much of the eastern Great Basin during the last ice age. To which historical English figure is the phrase, "Trust in God and keep your powder dry," attributed? Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell, 1599 to 1658, was an English military and political leader and later Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland. The quote, although commonly attributed to him, might have originated later, but it embodies his emphasis on both faith and preparedness. Which two colors comprise the NATO flag? Blue and white. The NATO flag features a dark blue field with a white compass rose, symbolizing the alliance's commitment to peace and security. The blue represents the Atlantic Ocean, and the compass rose signifies the common direction toward peace among the member states. In which European country were the artists Gustav Klimt and Karl Moll born? Austria. Gustav Klimt, 1862–1918, was an Austrian symbolist painter and one of the most prominent members of the Vienna Secession movement. Karl Moll, 1861–1945, was another Austrian painter associated with the Vienna Secession, known for his landscapes and interiors. Which jazz musician and clarinet player was known as the King of Swing? Benny Goodman. Benny Goodman, 1909–1986, was a celebrated American jazz clarinetist and bandleader, widely recognized as the King of Swing. His band's performances helped popularize swing music in the 1930s and 1940s. Dormant volcano Mount Elbrus is located in which mountain range? Caucasus. Mount Elbrus, a dormant stratovolcano, is the highest peak in the Caucasus Mountains, situated in southern Russia. It is also the highest point in Europe, making it a significant geographical landmark. To which part of the human body does the term pulmonary relate? Lungs. The term pulmonary pertains to the lungs and the respiratory system. Pulmonary arteries, veins, and diseases all involve the functioning and health of the lungs. In the British Royal Navy, which rank lies between captain and rear admiral? Commodore. The rank of Commodore in the British Royal Navy is a senior rank, positioned between captain and rear admiral. It is equivalent to a brigadier in the British Army or a Air Commodore in the Royal Air Force, and is typically a temporary appointment. What does the largest star on the national flag of Australia represent? The Commonwealth. The largest star on the Australian national flag, also known as the Commonwealth Star or Federation Star, represents the Commonwealth of Australia. It has 7 points, signifying the 6 original states and 1 point representing all of Australia's territories. How many moons does the planet Mercury have? None. Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system and the closest to the Sun, does not possess any natural satellites or moons. This characteristic is shared with Venus. Which English aristocrat and explorer secretly married Elizabeth Throckmorton in 1591? Sir Walter Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh, circa 1552 to 1618, was a prominent English explorer, soldier, writer, and courtier. His secret marriage to Elizabeth Throckmorton, a lady-in-waiting to Queen Elizabeth I, caused royal displeasure and led to a period of imprisonment. To which planet in our solar system does the adjective Jovian pertain? Jupiter. The term Jovian is derived from Jove, another name for the Roman god Jupiter. In astronomy, Jovian planets refer to gas giants similar to Jupiter, such as Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Upon which canal is the Pedro Miguel Lock situated? Panama Canal. The Pedro Miguel Locks are part of the Panama Canal, a crucial waterway connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The canal facilitates global trade and reduces travel time for ships. The Bayeux Tapestry vividly depicts events that culminated in which significant battle? Battle of Hastings. The Bayeux Tapestry is an embroidered cloth nearly 70 meters long that narrates the events leading up to the Norman conquest of England in 1066. The Battle of Hastings, fought between the Norman-French army of William the Conqueror and the English army under King Harold Godwinson, resulted in a decisive Norman victory. Which 18th century novelist authored The History of Tom Jones, a Foundling? Henry Fielding. Henry Fielding, 1707 to 1754, was a prominent English novelist and playwright known for his satirical wit and realistic depictions of 18th century society. The History of Tom Jones, a Foundling, is considered one of his masterpieces, offering a panoramic view of English life and social classes. Tower, Albert, and Vauxhall are all bridges located in which European city? London. London boasts numerous bridges spanning the River Thames, each with its unique architectural style and historical significance. Tower Bridge is famous for its bascules, while Albert Bridge is noted for its vibrant colors, and Vauxhall Bridge features distinctive bronze statues. Françoise de Maintenon was the second wife of which French king? Louis XIV. Françoise de Maintenon, 1635 to 1719, secretly married King Louis XIV of France after the death of his first wife. She exerted significant influence on the king and French court, advocating for religious piety and educational reforms. If a substance is described as stannic, which metal does it contain? Tin. The term stannic is derived from the Latin word stannum, which refers to tin. Stannic compounds contain tin in its higher oxidation state, typically +4. Hippology is the study of which animal? Horse. Hippology is a branch of zoology dedicated to the study of horses. It encompasses equine anatomy, physiology, breeding, training, and management, and is vital in understanding equine health and performance. The thistle is the national emblem of which European country? Scotland. The thistle has been a national emblem of Scotland since the 15th century. Its exact origin as an emblem is unknown, but several legends explain its adoption, often involving its role in protecting the land from invaders. Stomatology is the branch of medicine concerned with which part of the human body? Mouth. Stomatology, also known as oral and maxillofacial surgery, focuses on the diagnosis and treatment of diseases and conditions affecting the mouth, jaws, face, and associated structures. The Batavian Republic is now known by what modern-day name? The Netherlands. The Batavian Republic was a short-lived republic in the Netherlands that existed from 1795 to 1806. It was heavily influenced by revolutionary France and preceded the Kingdom of Holland.